Okay, all these parts are laying here. This was my Kessil A what is it 160 Reef light, and I took it off the system to clean it, and I dropped it on a tile floor. What a dumbass! And the fan stopped working. So I took the whole thing apart, and I found out that this little fan now, you know how intense these lights are. I mean, they are super intense. So without that fan, that thing's gonna die, no problem. So it got bent when I dropped it, so it wouldn't start. And when you tried to move it, it was rubbing on the side. So I just grabbed it real hard and bent it back to the middle, and now it works. Let me see if I can turn it on with one hand. There it goes. And it's not too loud. Okay, so I didn't film me taking it apart. I'll film the the pieces of putting it back together in case somebody else needs it. Hang on. Okay, so we'll call this the front. This is the way it would be mounted on your system. So this is the fan, and it mounts to this heatsink, and there's a gasket underneath it. There's 4 holes in this fan, right? So call this hole here like 2 o'clock. It's be 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. So there's only 2 screws, which goes in the 4 o'clock and the 10 o'clock position. And this is the only way this will mount, just like it is here. Any other way, and it tangles up this cord, okay? So now you're going to put posts, because there's 2 holes in here, there and there. And you're going to put posts and screws through these to mount this above the fan. So it's going to look just like that. So we'll do that right now. Okay, so here's the post. You see these black posts, and there's 2 long screws that go all the way through that post down into the fan here, right? You see that? So that's the last 2 that have to go in there. So you tighten these up. And then we go on to the next step. All right. Okay, so I got the post in there, I got the screws in there tight. Now this just slides over top of the two knobs, right? The intensity and the color. And what holds them on there is there's a washer, and there's a little nut that looks like that. And you tighten that down on there with a 10 millimeter wrench. So you need a 10 millimeter wrench. So I'm going to put those on there and tighten them up. Okay, so now we're ready to put the cover on. This is the cover. And you see it's got 3 holes in the top and 3 holes in the bottom, right? And the top is where it says Kessil. And so you slide this on, and you can see these holes here, right? You got to line those up like that. And you got these little teeny weeny Allen screws. So this wrench here, which I had to order off of Amazon, is a 0.9 millimeter Allen wrench, hex wrench, and these are the little screws that were in it. You got to put those back in. So you put the 3 around the top first. So we'll do that, and then we'll come back. Okay. These little Allen, the screws here, they don't have like a head on them where they're going to tighten this against the brace. All they do is stop this from sliding. So don't turn them all the way in. Just turn it like that. And you can see they're sticking out a little bit. That keeps it from sliding. Okay. So if this is the top, then this is the bottom. And this is your lens apparatus. So here's the lens, and it just sits over top of the LED, the matrix there. And then this guy, the cover, goes on here. And you see they have 3 holes in them as well. and you line these 3 holes up, if you can see them, or if you're old like me and you can't see shit. Okay, there they are. So then you put your other 3 in there. We'll do that. Okay, this was more difficult than getting on the casing. And let me show you what I finally did. I put the lens inside and then put all 3 Allen screws in and drove them in, and just I screwed them in such that this will now fit over here. Then I line up the holes and back them out. And then that'll keep it in place. Because when I tried it the other way, everything just kept slipping. So let me finish it. Okay, so here it is, and you see I just backed those out once I got the cover to the lens on. Okay, let's recap real quick. You yank these knobs off. Underneath, you find 2 nuts, a nut here and a nut there. You need a 10 millimeter wrench to take those off. And then there's 6 of these little teeny Allen screws. There's 3 in the top and 3 in the bottom. The 3 in the bottom release the lens, and the lens the cap. And you need a 0.9 millimeter wrench to get those out. Then you take these 3 out, and the whole thing just slides apart. And then you can work on your fan if you need to. I hope you don't have to. All right, see you later.